absolutely. I mean, AJ, a lot more limited time on tour, but has shown us a ton and shown.
Mickey Krause match finished. We did even better by showing it to you there, and he is now through. So David O'Cady exits the duty of a lifetime for those guys, and some responded to it better than others. I think Petri Mäkinen actually really struck the chance for someone to come through and win it. But there must be guys looking at the draw and thinking, okay, these are all good players, but how do they respond to having a big opportunity to really go deep in one of these events, an opportunity that they might not know.
Anyways, got a lot of power though. Good touch.
And Bootus as well was the other one, so very good point.
Yeah, and you know, Mäkinen.
Quoc Hoang hasn't been to a big semi-final yet, but he's been in some big quarter-finals. In fact, he was in afternoon. It's all about trying to claim a last 16 spot. And he's off to a decent start in that.
I think he's one of the best out there. Really doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses when it comes. I think he gets this back. Use the cue ball off the cushion. Surprised he's taking this. Now, he had more faith. Nice, hit it super thin. So AJ's going to have a combination to get started. Like, what's the kid's name from Germany that's so good? Vogels, right? And favored in a lot of matches also, so which is a different kind of feeling than an underdog. He's definitely ready to be out here with the big boys, I think.
Yeah, and in any sport, you're always looking at their ability to play. It's everything else about them, the way they play, the style, and a little bit of unpredictability regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, didn't get to talk to him a ton there at the PLP, but
and certainly a very good player. And he's leveled in the early.
And he's picked up the speed since the PLP. The 8's not in the way, so this is a more comfortable way to play the ball. Just stay here in Telford. It's really awesome weather, and I would never say we hear complaints. You know, maybe a hair bouncy because of this or that, but no complaints this week with the weather so perfect. Keeps the players in a better mood. Everyone feels better about things when the weather's so nice. Now this shot got awfully odd from. Yeah, I thought it was missable. He tried to attack with outside, and I don't think that was a big option.
And a real battle earlier today against Dean Shields from Manchester, who of course beat him in his home country at the Hanoi Open. And it was the other way around this time. Duong coming through 10-8, and here he is in the last 32.
You know, fully. Just take your chances leaving something long. A year or so, but I think he's back and he's better. And a great shot there with the jump cue. And what I was talking about earlier was this year, and Duong took that down. And that kind of field are the type of players you got to beat once you get to these majors.
Yeah, he was back in Glasgow last week to defend that Scottish Open title qualification, but that's not quite as early an exit as it will be in one of these events, because it was only a 16-man single elimination.
Draw the ball here. He was in a few battles to survive, from what I remember, on the one-loss side of the early rounds of this event. So
record against top players, but again, here he is struggling against someone who he might have made him favourite against, Imran Majid. Back here on the main table, Duong off to a very good start.
Yeah, that's
two drawing ones in a row for DQH. He beat Marvin Assis in the last 64 of the Hanoi Open last year to get through to the Nado. Only went down 10-9.
You know, and all players have their own pace. Big moment, you can start to stress about all shots, and when you don't allow that to tense between the ears, which definitely affects the back arm.
Yeah, and he's got that youthful sense of not really in his past, and it's reflected in his manner around the table and the way he plays. And very quick rack. Duong not getting away with the dry break this time. AJ Manis.
Yeah, this table's been awfully stingy on the one. Not so much with the cue. But I always felt like Comino had, of course, being younger and whatnot and still trying to fit in the ears. But I also like that player that doesn't mind showing how upset they are about all. That's a bad thing. Okay.
Yeah, they have a different thing with names in Spain. It's something to do with the names of both.
Yeah, a bunch of youngsters playing in this round, of course. Game's getting younger.
Manis just glides around the table, and Duong sort of ambles around the place a little bit, almost like he's not really even a deal easier than we know it certainly is. And this has been a good start from Duong Quoc Hoang. He's exploited it just as much as he did in the opening rack, and so we now have multiple racks in it for the first time in the contest.
Sam Henderson, good shout out to him making that final 64. Constantly building on that game. I know he didn't have the match.
Very interesting clash with the tournament favourite Joshua Filler.
Yeah, and hats off to Tyler. A lot of people will Filler, but we'll see how it unfolds.
Steyer's one of those guys who, if he was playing team sport,
especially a pro sport, there's players that always get questioned, oh, why every time? And Tyler's kind of one of those. And that's why, to me, and unless someone shows otherwise, he's a hard guy not to. Can he get enough on it to move the cue ball out? Oh, sweet stroke. Elevated over the 9. That one will make you feel.
Looking for 10 racks to get through. And he's now completed the first. And with his first break and run, indeed, the first break and run from either player, Duong.
The young guys make it easy to overlook. Double kissed it, may fluke it. It's the mark on the shot itself. Miscue, it sounded like. Man, he's so good when he elevates the cue. It's amazing, really. I'll tell you one thing he does better than most is he stays real still when he elevates that cue. It's got to be that way just because I kind of feel like Manis has the mentality, I don't care what the score is, as long as I can.
There's Cup week in Manila back in October. He won both of his doubles and one of his singles. He actually had a chance to clinch the MVP Aloysius Yap to clinch it in the next match against FSR.
Asia kind of corralling around this man at the table right now had a big part on them coming together. This man here really helped that team to an easy win.
Yeah, they were 4-0 up in that open.
On his last. Nice. I think figured out the speed a little better, and he's going to get a look at the blue too. Yeah, it seems like every match that week at the Spanish Open was Hill. Lugo is a beautiful city. I mean, just it was easy to stay there anyways, but sometimes you have back to. That's just a beautiful shot.
Yeah, he had those couple of quarterfinals year before last, but didn't really 32 stage once in one of these matchroom events in 2020. Ended his run there, but he's already at a quarterfinal this year at the European Open. What he might do here in Telford this week, because he's playing really well, and with his second break and run in the last 3 racks. Sort of player who, if he can get a foothold, can turn this around, and maybe it's going to come here. Well,
Wired to the upper corner off the red 3. Yeah. Very good experience beyond his. Oh no. Overcut the 2 to the pot to do something. The 4 doesn't pass. So he's coming across for the combination.
well, this would be a very nice way to start the And AJ Manis, 7-2 down, but he has just taken rack 10. But needed to build on it with the one in the side.
Killed the ball bit for the 2. Wants to fall here underneath it. It's done. Gonna need a friendly bump. I think he'll get it. Pretty decent. Like this. Speed controls very high.
Well, this is turning into just about as good a display as we've twice during that run to the quarterfinals in Sarajevo back in March. Beat him in winners qualifying.
Always plays steady, I mean, but I just feel like he looks really comfortable. No? Just
so Manis' attempted comeback has been. Duong breaking with an 8-3 lead. He's made the 1.
kind of nip this behind the 3. Imran take
Position he was in.
Shouldn't be a problem. An easy missed ball from Duong, something we didn't. And he's going to get this 8-9 and tell you what else he needs.
Following the defeat earlier today for defending champion Robbie Capito.
A huge shot there from players. Easy to maybe want to draw that, make the make a little easier, a little more comfortable. It's perfect here. He'll just go 1.
So as I said, 2 players who are not looking so likely now.
Really, I mean, besides the break shot, which has cost Manis 2 scratches, of course, that you can't always predict. Exceptional pull by the Vietnamese star.
And that is now. He's been out on the main table.
Yeah, and there hasn't luck. It's been awesome play to get to this 9-3 score. And in return,
Controlled the match.
yeah, we've had a few. Ooh, okay, got it down. He finally missed the ball. But
Been completed. Max Lechner winning that hill finish against Wang Hung Sang. Lechner, another player who the European Open already this year. But perhaps the way he's playing here.
he finally gave one up. Didn't expect it there.
In the last rights for this match. Manis looks as though he's going to extend it here. Duong has done very little wrong in this match. He did something wrong there, though, and he's paid the price for it. So, Manis, AJ Manis is battling to stay in it.
A lot of times. Did real well unless he catches the point. Yeah, just pure stroke there to draw. The 4, 2 rails for the 5. Is that enough speed? It's got to go a little bit. Yes, it is.
In the previous rack, but it was very much at odds with what we've seen from him throughout the day. But hold on, what's he done here?
This is short, so AJ's still got life.
For the second.
Yeah, it's going to hold up. So Duong's going to get a pretty easy shot at the 8.
Well, as I said, I think we expected a close one here, and it looked as though we were going to get it.
when Manus was only one behind. Friday at these events is all about claiming one of those coveted last 16 spots, and the first of them has gone to Duong Quoc Hoang. He defeats